Okay, hey guys, American Amy here. Okay, now we're live. Okay, I got my lights in the background. They don't look that great because it's daytime, but I think we will get a use for those. Right now, what we're going to do is I'm going to replay this. This is a live. I must say that the opinions, the views, all that stuff are not my own because I'm not speaking in this, but I'm going to play it. And hopefully some people will join us. Let me pull it up real quick. I'm going to wait till I get at least one person in here. This is important. I didn't get a lot of views. I know how it is, though, to put something important up there and it just not get a lot of views. And you wonder, well, why didn't it get a lot of views? I don't know. But what I'm going to do here, oh, Lord. What I'm going to do is try to get some views. Hey, As If, it's good to see you. I ain't seen you in a while. Hey, Andy, good to see y'all. Okay, so I'm going to play this. I will be monitoring part of it. Part of it I will not be in here for. I want you guys to watch this. I'm not good at math and science. See if this seems like the D and that's who he is. Because even after watching this, I don't understand it that good. So maybe you guys can. Okay, so we're gonna share. I'm gonna share her thing, and we're gonna watch it. And you guys, if you have to drop in and out, that's okay. But this is important. This is the DNA she was able to obtain on the guy that claims he's Adam Walsh. Now, Megan had done it with him before, but it was lost, okay, by LabCorp. So let's check this out and see what if you guys can make good sense out of it. I'm gonna make sure the volume's playing and everything. Hey, Yin Yang, hey baby, it's good to see you. I don't think I hit play on here. And I'm gonna I did hit play. Why is it doing that? Wow. 1 second, please.
Hang tight for the breaking news of Adam Walsh.
Okay, so it's playing now. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to make this bigger. Shit.
Hello and welcome to the Punished for Protecting Live broadcast with your host, Francesca
This
Amato,
is her. This will tell you a little bit
national
about her.
expert in the Americans
we'll
with Disabilities Act, domestic violence and child abuse advocate, best-selling author, and founder of Punished for Protecting Incorporated. We welcome.
It's okay. You're welcome. I'm sorry I messed it up, guys. Give me a second. I hit the wrong button. Shit. Fuck. You know, I'm saying here, I've been trying to plan this for 2 or 3 weeks, and then here I get it ready, and then I mess it up. That's me there. I don't want to play that. Shit, no. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. My goal is to get this thing playing and for me just to get out of here. Okay. Share screen. That's what I gotta do. It's not up there no more. Why me, Lord? Why? Why me, Lord? There it goes. Okay, maybe this is it. That's hard. Okay. It should be sharing this. I don't know why it's not. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're just gonna make it play. Okay.
I'm gonna get ready to go.
Yeah, okay, you do that. I'm gonna try to run my show that's already fucked up now. It's not your fault. It just happens that way sometimes, you know? I thought I had it all set up. That's me. That's not her. Shit. You know, I wanted this to be good so people could come back and watch it, you know? I wanted this to be right. That's me. That's not her. You know? Shit. I want this where people could come back and watch this and it would be a good, clean show, you know? So people can understand this. I want you guys to be able to tell if this is her channel. I don't know if you guys can. Oh, you can't see right now. I'm gonna get back there. I promise I will. Okay, there it is. Okay, boom, boom. Okay. Now we're going to take this and we're going to minimize it. And then we're going to share file. And we're going to share this. And here we go again.
Welcome all of our viewers watching on Facebook via Punished for Protecting News and the CPS News Network. If you're watching on YouTube at Punish No More and Free to Protect, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. You can also find Punish for Protecting News on Rumble. Now, without further ado, here is your host, Francesca Amato.
Good evening and welcome to Punish for Protecting News tonight.
Right.
Yes, we have a breaking story. If any of you have been following, several months ago, I interviewed, actually, gosh, I think it's been about a year, I interviewed somebody who we have done some background research, and I personally, at the time...
Shit. It's okay, guys. We're going to do it again. This is so messed up. I wish people would leave me alone when I'm trying to do something, you know? When I'm trying to do something that's important. I can't see nothing now. I can't see nothing but myself. Exit full screen. Okay, there you guys are. Okay, we're gonna try again. Okay, now I've got to get where she's at. Where's she at? I gotta make her bigger. You know, I have problems, but I ain't never had one quite like this. Stephen King stuff. Sometimes I think I think something's after me. Every time I try to do something technical, I have the worst luck. I really do. Why is it just sitting there? And why is this one there? That one shouldn't be there.
We welcome all of our viewers watching on Facebook via Punished for Protecting News and the CPS News Network. If you're watching on YouTube at Push No More and Free to Protect, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. You can also find Punished for Protecting News on Rumble. Now, without further ado, here is your host, Francesca Amato.
Good evening and welcome to Punished for Protecting News tonight. Yes, we have a breaking story. If any of you have been following, several months ago, I interviewed, actually, gosh, I think it's been about a year, I interviewed somebody who we have done some background research, and I personally, at the time when I did the live video, believed that it was Adam Walsh. If you did not get to see that video, you can see that on my YouTube channel or Punished for Protecting News on Facebook. And you can
Okay, guys.
watch the original video that I did.
Sorry.
During that video, we went through
But this
several
is it,
different
babies. I'm sorry.
of, if anybody
Watch
knows what happened back in the 80s, the supposed death of little Adam Walsh. Tonight, I'm going to be bringing that same guest out, only there's been something you guys have been asking me about. What about a DNA? If you watch the last video, you would see that when I interviewed Adam, he discussed how he and his sister, Megan Walsh, which I'm sure many of you have been following that story for quite some time.
Guys, I'm not saying nothing here. I am repeating the stream. This lady has some DNA tests done. She's saying what she's saying. The guy that says he's Adam saying what he's saying. I'm not saying nothing. I'm sharing a stream. Okay, I just want to make that positive and clear to you guys. Okay, thank you.
And also the many stories that I've done, interviewing Megan, and also exposing John Walsh and exposing National Center for Missing and Exploited Children for what it really is. And if you haven't been following, you need to start catching up, because we have a lot of stories that you need to pay attention to and see. The actual daughter of John Walsh and Reve Walsh has been speaking out quite a bit. And we've been discussing, and I have been talking about for multitudes of years, the child trafficking industry and how it's all tied in. Now, I was fairly young when this happened to young Adam Walsh. And, you know, as the years passed and I started doing the work that I do, and even the book that I wrote, Punished for Protecting the Injustice System of Family Court, my son and I were considered missing when we weren't missing. I remember it marveled me, it shocked me to think that they were going to put us on a clearinghouse seeking for us and looking for us when we weren't missing. And I thought, geez, that is really exploiting both of us. And so when you think of missing and exploited, what the work that I've been doing over the years, and with all the intense research and you know, what do you call it, credentials and certifications that I've gotten over the years, and the work that I've done and the speaking out about this that I've done, I kept seeing that there was a link to missing and exploited and missing children and family court and moms that run for protection, and because they're just literally having no other choice. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I started tying it together, and as many of you know, I tied it together to the child trafficking industry and exposed that on Heart of New York TV several years ago. And you know, literally took the statistics and started realizing that even through DSS and through all of that, through Health and Human Services and all of that and all their statistics, it actually they admit that children are trafficked through the family court. They're trafficked through that system. You know, they're giving the statistics, and they're saying over 88% of children that go through the foster care system have been trafficked, but they're kind of leaving out the fact that they're trafficked through them. Okay. So without further ado, what we did is, back when I did the first interview, and we talked to Adam and Megan both did a DNA, and they both verified this. And Adam if you will, came out on my program for the first time ever, and he's never been on any other show before and will not be. Came out and taught, well, I don't want to say will not be, but as of now, just been here for Punished for Protecting. And said that when they did the DNA, the lab lost the DNA. So many people watched that video and were like, well, do a DNA. Now you have to understand the hierarchy of all of this, and that this had to be done in the timing in which I did it, in which we did do the DNA again. And tonight we're going to reveal what we found out. And I know you guys are very excited about that. But before I begin doing that, I want you to see this one picture, a couple pictures here. This is a side-by-side. This is a side-by-side of Reve Walsh, which would be the mother, and Adam Walsh, currently now almost 48. So this was last year. And we had it, we had a side-by-side done, and you guys can kind of look for yourself. Tell me what you think in the comments. Look for yourself and tell me what you think. Look at the shape of the nose. Look at the shape of the mouth. Look at the shape of the cheekbones. Look at the eye shape. Look at the eyebrow shape, and tell me if that's not pretty shocking to you. Likewise, we have this photograph of John Walsh and Adam in a side-by-side. And again, please look at the shapes. Look at the shape of the eyes. The nose would be a little different, and the mouth, and the cheekbones, and the eyebrows. And again, in comments, I would like to know what y'all think. But how about meeting the actual person? So why don't we go ahead and bring out Adam by Lily. Hello there. Can you turn it? Are you able to turn it sideways? There we go. That's why you have a better thing. Now we're going to show you. And how are you doing tonight?
Hang on.
Okay.
I'm doing pretty well.
Doing pretty well?
Yep.
So we went and we had you go ahead, and I'm going to just put that on the screen. We had you do the DNA, and you also go by Lily, okay? And we're going to talk about, you'll go by Lily, and we're going to talk about the traumatic event that took place many years ago in the 80s, 81, I believe it was. And I'd like you to kind of tell the viewers, but before we go any further, and if you don't mind, we did the DNA. And one of the things that came up when we did the DNA is that the DNA absolutely said irrevocably that you are male, correct?
Right.
Which we're going to be showing a lot of that for the viewers if you're wondering what's going on here. But you identify as Lily and also as Adam. Is that correct?
Correct.
So why don't we go back to some things, because there's a few photographs that I have here. Matter of fact, here's one where this is what they used back in the 80s when they were looking for you, And I'm going to show everybody, so hang tight, because I know there's a lot in this show tonight. But when they were looking for you, this is the photo that they used primarily, which is the one with the cat. And you told me something very interesting today when we talked earlier. We were testing StreamYard out. You told me that, because I remember in the last interview, you were very surprised that the people that had you, one of the first things that they did was took you and had a tooth pulled. Is that right?
That's right. They had dental records done, they wanted 2 records, and they pulled one of my teeth out.
Mm-hmm. And you found it strange.
It was my second molar. They pulled out. It was the second.
And you said you found it strange, right?
Yeah, I found it strange that immediately as I get in with them, they take me to the dentist. I just found it kind of weird.
Yeah, well, we find it weird too. And obviously you guys want to know what the DNA said, and we're just hang on to that, because we're going to take you through a series of questions that people have been asking me for close to a year since the last time I interviewed you. But if you look at this, we kind of had it, we'd like to have this, we had this done for you guys so you can see the picture, and then they kind of started I don't know how they call this, but imposing your face, superimposing your face into it. And so you can see, and the audience is saying, here we have one, the area between the nose and upper lip, and also area between the eyebrows change as we get older. So the 2 pics of Adam's slight difference is actually normal and expected. And then people are saying, looks just like him. Welcome, Adam. Someone here says, I lived in Fort Pierce, Florida when this happened. And don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Truth exposed. And you can tell it's Adam. And this is before you guys are even hearing the DNA results. But the first result was, is this person a male or a female? That is your very first DNA results. And the very first DNA results definitely said that Adam is a male. Okay, born male. Okay, so now with that, and as you know, we took the DNA and so on and so forth. So we had nobody on the other side to compare the DNA, but Megan had already done the DNA. So we were able to have the DNA traced over a period of time, and it took several weeks. And I'm going to start showing some of that, guys. So I do appreciate you guys liking, sharing. If you're on YouTube, hit the bell icon and share this, because this is an important message that everybody should know about, and it's a game changer in the work that we've been doing. Well, why don't you talk about this picture here, Adam? If you could please. You said that this photograph came when? Before or after the one that they showed?
After. And that was about 1984.
So that
when my teeth came in.
Okay, now you can actually, people can look this up, and if you guys can Google Adam Walsh, you'll see this photograph. You'll see this actual photograph. And so this is pretty amazing, because now the front teeth have grown in. If you go to the original photograph, the one that was like the world famous photograph, so to speak, the one where, I'm sorry, not that one, the one with the baseball cap, you're missing the teeth there.
Yeah.
So that's where you're missing the teeth. Okay. And so a lot of people said, well, they found a decapitated head. They found a decapitated head, but they didn't find a body. Now, and I just want to let people know that's very common in satanic ritual abuse.
Well, they took the DNA by tooth.
Yeah, so they took the DNA by tooth. Mm-hmm.
So whatever tooth that was in there matched.
Mm-hmm.
It was me. So who's to say they didn't take that tooth they took for me and put it in the tests over there?
100%. And that's exactly what I felt had happened, because that's the trophy head is what they do when they do these kinds of things, where they abduct children, and where they and generally families that are involved in this kind of stuff do sacrifice.
They also did family pictures when they first got with us. In adoption, they did family pictures and to try to act like I was there for a while.
Yeah. So with that, I'm going to show some stuff that we have pulled up here. I'm trying to find out why not all of my stuff is here that I'm looking for. Okay, actually, let me show this. I'm going to put this up on the screen. So will you touch on this here, this letter? Is it still a sealed letter, by the way? Because we showed this in the last live.
Yeah, still sealed.
So I don't know if the audience can see that, but if you take a look at that and you look at that picture, if you look there, it's from Memorial Healthcare Systems, and that's located in Florida. And if you look, and this is your letter, correct? This came from you?
This came from the hospital.
But I mean, this came from the hospital that you went to.
Yes.
And so you were able to give me this letter to put on the screen, like this picture of this letter.
Yeah, I went down to Florida to there's a hospital down there that I had a heart condition when I was born, and I was able to trace the heart records to that hospital. So when I went to the hospital, I checked in, and they seen me for a heart condition with this under that name.
And then
so I tried to link. It's the same company that did when I was a child. They did heart studies.
That's right. And I just want everybody viewers that are watching live right now, if you can please put in comments the name that you see on this envelope from the Memorial Hospital in Florida where he went. Can everybody see that name? And if you see that name, please go ahead and please type it in the comments. Tell me what you see. What do you guys see? What's the name you guys see in the comments? Please. As they come up, I'm going to post as many as I can, as you guys see what we see there in that envelope. And that's a piece of mail that came from the hospital that he attended, that he went to, and everyone can see it. I can see it clearly. There's only one person saying they can't, but everyone else can see it clearly. That's interesting. You might be able to spread your screens larger. And they're coming up and everybody sees it. You even see the middle initial, J. Walsh, Adam J. Walsh. Adam J. Walsh, everyone's saying. Adam J. Walsh. One person is saying that it's blurry. Saying it's blurry. I'm sorry that it's blurry. It's why I got these. But everybody else is saying that they see it and and it says Adam J. Walsh. And I can see it and it says Adam J. Walsh. And obviously this piece of mail came to you, correct?
Correct.
One is saying clear as day.
Yeah.
So another says, yep, name says I see Adam J. Walsh. Adam J. Walsh. And that's a sealed envelope piece of mail. And I just wanted to show you that as we go. Now, the mother and father, when we did the DNA, which we have Reve and John Walsh, okay? We have others that are related to the family, such as Drew Barrymore, because she is Reve Drew. Reve Drew. I'm going to kind of just touch your mute a little bit while I talk, and then because it's making a back feed, but then I'll release your mute again when it's time for you. It's making a weird back feed. So Reve Drew is the mother of Adam and Megan and the Callahan. And there's one more kid's name. What is it? Callahan. Sorry, forgive me. Let's unmute you. Do you know the
other name? No, I don't actually. I can't remember.
So, and I'm sorry, and I have so many notes in front of me right now, and I do forgive me. I'll remember the name after, But anyway, so the DNA proved that the family was English, and I'm sorry, and the other names were not able to pull up. So because of that, because of the way it works on the DNA chart, we weren't able to pull it up. But if you guys can see here, what the DNA showed, so it's a long list of DNA, and it shows all the different types of ethnic background when you look at the DNA matches. And so all the matches on both sides of Adam, which he just got kicked, but he'll come back, of Adam, and then also of it looks like, here we go, sorry, of Adam, and then of John Walsh and of Reve Drew Walsh, actually showed that the mother's side and the father's side were compatible with the DNA of this young man, Adam Walsh. So it showed complete compatibility. Matter of fact, the percentile was higher in the England and Northwest Europe and German European background, which was his nationality, and the mixture of both John Walsh and Reve Walsh. All the other nationalities were very, very low percentage. So if you can see there, it was 100%. See where it says 100% you? So it's 50% each parent, and then it equals 100% him. And then it says 28% and then 17% each parent, making it 45% on each parent, equaling 100%. So that is what the DNA came up with when we did the DNA. And we did this, like I said, over a course of time. We didn't just rush, and we had to do it in a very secretive way because we didn't want them catching who this was so that they would say it was lost like the last time. So it wasn't easy. So you can see on here, we had Adam Walsh added to the tree, so to speak. And then we had, that's the same chart, only I'm showing it a little expanded there. So you can go down, you'll see like very low percentile in Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, and Denmark and Sweden. Okay, because the actual, both parents, which equals 100%, are German, European, and England and Northwestern Europe. Okay, so there's that. And let's see. Thought I had more here. And then there it is again. It just kind of shows they just kind of do it in a wheel. And in the wheel, it just shows, again, it's the 45% and the 30%, which equaled his DNA matches and equaled both his mother and father's, without being able to get their actual DNA. And something that I found quite interesting, Adam, is this. When you look up John Walsh, anybody can do this right now, and I encourage you guys to do so. When you look up John Walsh, what you're going to see is obviously all of his information. you're going to see everything on John Walsh. You're going to see his full name, where he came from, places that he lived, who he is, what they say, where he came from, all this stuff. But when you look at John Walsh, when you look at Reve Walsh, you're never going to see a birth date for her, no matter how much you look. And one of the things I found out was that when he met her, she was 16. Okay. He was an adult and she was 16. She was still a minor child when he began a relationship with her. So this is amazing. This is amazing. And this is absolutely amazing. And she saw it too, she said. But so you will see a lot of secret behind Reve Drew Walsh. Adam, I had to mute you because it was making a weird background noise. I don't know. Do you have another device on besides this, like a phone or something? Okay. So I'm going to unmute you because I know the audience is going to have a lot of questions for you. And so you guys can start putting up your questions now. We want, obviously there's going to be a lot of questions here. We touched on everything that happened from the day in the store and on. So I know you want to kind of talk about that because I know people have a lot of questions regarding that. So if you want to go ahead.
I even have information about the day before. And information about Otis Toole and how he stabbed me and stuff with during the actual event, how I escaped, and on and so forth. In Sears, there was this girl he was trying to get or something, and I went over there and said, that's not something you should do. Pretty much got the girl away from him, and then we ran up to the arcade machine to play some games, and then the security lady came in and kicked us out. So I went out the store with the kids, but I came back in, and when I came back in, Otis came back in and tried to lure me out to the car, which he did. And I don't know why I did that, but I ended up going in the car with him. So, but if you have any questions, I can answer them too.
Yeah, I know there's going to be tons of questions that I'm going to post as well. Let me get a dual screen back here again. There's so much about that. And then if anybody watches the movie in the 80s that happened, that they're displaying, supposedly your mom and dad, and you guys can believe whatever you want, okay? I choose to believe. I talk to him several times a month. We did a lot of work behind the scenes initially before I brought this story live. But the thing is that, there's so much more to it. And I really highly recommend that people even watch the first interview and even watch my work. If this is new to you, watch my work, because we have been exposing this child trafficking industry for many years. But when I watched the video, and I even sent it to you, and I watch how they try to portray them as this like impeccable mother and father, in which we know better. There was cocaine, there was sleeping around, there's a lot of things. The father was very much involved in building near the beaches, near the in a private island, in a private island in Florida. He was building hotels. So I always found it ironic that I always found it ironic that they're building hotels on a private island. Sounds like Epstein. And then this child is missing, and then they find him, supposedly they find his head. That's all they found was a head. And obviously he has an answer for this. Well,
the same time they found the head, I was in the hospital, and Reve actually came to the hospital.
No, you never said that.
Yeah.
Okay. You never said that in the first interview. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what she did. And they tried to say, is this Adam? And then she just walked away from me. So I looked at her kind of blankly because I was wounded. So, I was kind of not really there.
Yeah, because he hit you in the head, right?
Right.
So the thing is that in the movie they try to portray one story, and then in reality, we know years later, completely different.
Yes, that's true,
The
Snark.
whole Epstein Island, and then they were building the hotels on this island, this private island. Suddenly, this man who's a nobody suddenly becomes globally known. Okay, and that could happen today with the social media that we had, but back in the 80s, what were the chances? What were the chances? So the movie, when you watch it, and one of the things they said about you, because a lot of people question how you knew so much and how you knew what to do and how you knew how to protect yourself in such a crazy situation, and you were very educated. And so even in the movie in the 80s, if you guys watch the Adam movie, you guys can just look it up. It's a very short movie, as a matter of fact. The person playing John Walsh said, well, Adam is very, very smart. He can even find his way back home. He says it in the movie. Okay. So, yeah, I'm reading what people are saying. So that's something that I wanted to talk to you about, because people were questioning, like, how did you know? Well, here's the question. If you watch the movie, Reve is supposedly looking at a lamp. They don't have the lamp, and she leaves you over by a new arcade game with a bunch of kids, and nobody knows anything. Nobody knows a single solitary thing. Okay. Do you even think that woman that brought you out was a security guard?
Sorry, guys. Let me fix this. Shit. Give me a second, guys. I apologize. Anytime I touch buttons, it gets dangerous. I know this is confusing, guys. Hey, Snapface, good to see you. We're good to see you all, you guys. And I will leave the link to her interview before this. But we're going to go back to this one now. Somehow I've got it stuck on, like, blue.
Yeah, she wore one.
Because here's something that I found.
She wore like a security outfit.
Why is it blue looking like that? Give me a minute, guys. It shouldn't be blue looking like that. Shoot. Okay. I'm going to try it again. I'm sorry about this. It keeps... You know how... Okay. Maybe now it'll work.
She wore a security outfit, and yet nobody from the store themselves spoke to her. You see what I'm saying? Nobody from the store ever spoke to her, so she was gone. Whoever this person was took you out and made sure, and the kids, and nobody else was concerned about their kids being missing. Doesn't anybody find that a little missing piece of the story? So all these other kids that were surrounding, you were the youngest, but all these other kids that were there, nobody discovered them missing. So who are these kids? Were they set up to do this? You just never know. You just never know. Okay? So yeah, there's so much to it that does not equate. And even to this day, it's a mystery. You can look it up anywhere. Okay? People are like, they caught the killer. They did not. They did not. The killer, the supposed killer. Okay? Because there was no, even though we had, which one was
O'Toole?
Yeah, it was, but then there was no evidence.
This is messed
and
up.
switched
Give me a
with another
second,
kid
guys.
with some outing
You shouldn't be able
to
to
get away from him. So
Okay, here. Okay, there. Can you see it
Sorry
now?
about the delay here. And here's something I wanted to kind of mention. When you were with the family that adopted you, you kept telling them over and over, "I'm Adam Walsh. I'm
Okay,
Adam
there we
Walsh."
go,
Right?
guys.
You keep
Right?
saying that to them.
Yeah. There we go.
There's a couple times when my picture was up on the missing and abducted list, I pointed to the picture and said, "That's me." And they kept saying, "No, it's not you. No, it's not you." And I kept telling them, "Yeah, it's me. And that's who I am." And they wouldn't listen. So after a while, I got tired of trying to say that. So I just went to school and did my normal things that I did as a child. So, and I really like horses, so I went to a horse farm, polo horse farm, that I worked for 10 years. Every day after school.
That's better. Sorry about that again.
That's kind of ironic that I like horses and they do too.
He claims he is.
Yeah.
Anything that you can say that you remember of the house and any memories of the past prior to this incident taking place?
I remember Grandma's house more than I do my house.
Can you describe it?
It was the farmhouse. They had cows, horses. I think that's about it. But I remember John taking me out to see the cows, in the mornings. Even Reve was doing horses a little bit, like polo a little bit. She was out tending the horses. So.
Well, we have a lot more with Adam Walsh. We have, I believe, proven the DNA here. The DNA came up male, not female.
Right.
The DNA came up 100% match of both parents, Reve and John Walsh. Okay, when we show that. But right now we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back after a message from Punished for Protecting Incorporated. Each new generation of protective mothers is shocked when they first go to family court and find it doesn't favor single mothers and is willing to jeopardize children.
The Constitution is threw out the window when it comes to family court.
Francesca's harrowing experience with the broken family court system, from which she finally received justice after 8 months of struggle, is proof that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Francesca has one of these unspeakably cruel cases and has responded by shining a large spotlight on widespread failures so other mothers won't be shocked. Punished for Protecting the Injustice System of Family Court by Francesca Amato Banfield, advocate, mother, whistleblower, founder, and TV talk show host of Punished for Protecting. If you are struggling with injustices wrought by our courts, this book will help guide you through the process. Available on Amazon.com. Search Punished for Protecting and get your copy today. Help abolish family court by purchasing Punished for Protecting merchandise. Here are our top sellers. Video description. Punished for Protecting t-shirt while supplies last. And with your case, go to punished4beingAparent.com/book-a-talk. Fill in your name. Francesca and her staff of volunteers continue to work tirelessly every single day for parents and children who are in need of their help. There have been multiple success stories, including Francesca's, which gives hope to others.
I'll have all the links to this in there. It didn't to me either, Snark. I don't understand it, because it's confusing to me. If you're talking about the DNA, that's why I wanted you guys to look at it. And Megan had given them hers, but they lost it. But I know this lady's been working on this. That's what I'm saying. We don't have everything, I don't think. I don't know. Could he be Adam? Very possible. Very. But could Adam be dead? Very possible.
Punished for Protecting Incorporated has
let's watch the rest of this
with
and
zero funding to help families get their children back or to save their children.
I'll tell you
from
what,
being
this guy
taken.
has a story.
We
I
also
know
have
he's been
provided
doing some
funds to
hell.
help with retainers,
But is he
food,
Adam?
lodging,
I
and
don't know.
travel. We really need your help so we can continue to provide our many services. Any amount. Only in need of help.
We're back with Adam Walsh. We did a DNA that you guys were waiting for well over, I guess it was over a year ago. Adam, I couldn't believe that it was like the summer of last year.
Yeah, it was over a year ago.
Not this past one, but the one before.
Megan had given them the DNA, but LabCorp claimed they lost it.
It's been quite a while. And the problem that we were having was that we had to be very careful with the DNA.
I'm going to drop her light on. Look for punish no more.
The DNA, they
as if punished no more.
I couldn't believe the amount of comments during that program, after that program, where people were going, well, just do a DNA. And I was like, did you not watch the movie? Like, did you not watch the show, the broadcast? But is there anything else that you want to kind of talk about that you recall? I mean, one of the things I found interesting was if a kid keeps saying that he's Adam Walsh, you took him to the dentist, you took him to different events, you took him to different doctors, but they never took you to a mental health provider, to see why you would think you were Adam Walsh. They just pretended you weren't Adam Walsh. I found that very interesting because they took you to regular doctors, right? They took you to your physician and so on and so forth.
Mental health.
They just would never mention that you were.
20s. I didn't get any mental health till I was in my 20s. So I was pretty much just on my own with no help. Until I was in my 20s.
Did he get any mental health until he was in his 20s?
Yeah.
And was there a name that they gave you during that time?
Michael.
Was there a name that they gave you during that time? Or who did you say you were all during that time?
They called me Michael during that time.
They called you Michael.
Yeah.
So what can the people do for you, Adam, to help you in any way?
Adoption papers, which I was switched with another kid, so they switched the kid names around, I believe, and I ended up being Michael Brandt.
Michael Brandt, yes. Which is which is the name. So that had to be extremely confusing to you to go through all of this, all these years.
Yeah, after a while, I kind of put it back behind me and focused on my future instead of the past for a while. It wasn't until recently that I wanted to get the story out because I'm getting older and I just feel that it needs to be heard. So I never had anybody help me do that, except for you. So thank you.
Well, it's my pleasure because I want to expose the whole system. And I've been saying for many years, this is all tied together. And then when Megan came to me a couple of years ago, when she was going through it with John Walsh, it absolutely, proved it. It proved it. And then when we did the DNA, obviously, when I was watching it go and I was seeing like what I showed everybody, on the screen, I was like, oh my goodness, the mother and the father match. And he comes out 100%. People were even saying, when we watched the first interview, they were insisting that you were female. And I was like, well, the DNA will prove that you were male.
No, I'm male.
Yeah. And then
I dressed
but you know,
female
they want to
for
see
a
proof.
while, but I was
They want to see proof.
confused for a while.
I understand.
And growing up, you get confused a lot. So for a time, I got confused. And I just want to get my original life back that I had back in the day, so I can be who I'm supposed to be. So
when's your birthday?
November 14th.
And you're going to be how old?
1974.
And you're going to be how old?
48.
48. So, and there's people out there that are trying to say that Governor DeSantis is you. And I was laughing so hard. It doesn't look anything like you. And I mean, these are the ones that I love the most. It wasn't even the DNA that I needed to even see. I'm glad we finally did. And I'm glad we were able to do it the way we did it, because it would have been stopped, obviously. But these are the ones that I just was like, it's the superimposing. I mean, you and your mother have the identical nose. The identical nose. No one, I mean, the features, no one can deny these features. Take a look, everybody. I mean, look at the mouth, the nose, the eyes, the eye shape, and the eyebrows. Okay, more so, I think, than even John Walsh. You can see the resemblance there. You can see the resemblance, but it's not as much as it is when I look at Rive and you. Okay?
Yeah,
so
I
it's just
take
ironic.
after my mother more than I do my dad. So
Yeah. So Jody's asking, do you prefer to be called Lily, or do you prefer to be your biological name, Adam, and your biological?
Well, I'm Lily until I prove that I'm Adam. So I want my original birth certificate back, but I'm trying to go through hoops trying to do it.
Well, I found it amazing when we showed the letter, and I know we showed this last time too, but this was amazing too. With the medical, he went to the doctor in Florida. He went to the hospital in Florida. They mailed him a bill to Adam Walsh.
They accepted me as Adam. So
like the bottom line,
that was the hospital that I was supposedly born at, so they couldn't deny me, especially when I had heart medical records from linked to them. So. And I even gave them and told them, call my mother, Rive, if you need any information. And I gave them Megan's number, and back before Megan knew I was giving the number out. That bad me. But.
Yeah. Well, I know she's she's dealing with a lot, obviously, with John Walsh and what they're doing to her.
I went to
and
court
ironically,
with her. I went to court with her, and I looked at John and Rive, and Rive came out of her mouth, said, "That's Barb's kid." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, you know, you're just not saying it, because how could you know it's Barb's kid?" And Barb was my adopted mother's name.
Right. And how would she even know that?
Yeah.
The thing that gets me is that just because of what I know about satanic ritual abuse and what they're doing with the child trafficking industry, filtering these children through missing and exploited, exploiting them through missing and exploited, claiming that they're missing when a lot of them are just mothers trying to protect their children from family court and abusers. One thing I can't stand is when I hear a mother abducted her child. Like I can't wrap my head around that. It makes me nuts because I know the truth behind the evil. A mother abducted her child. I mean, just anybody, if you hear that and you're like, oh no, I'm so glad the child was found safe. And they see the child, a perfectly healthy, happy, smiling child, until, they take the child away and then place the child and the poor mother in jail or whatever. Think about what you're saying. Like, try to put your brain back together again and think about the backstory. Okay. Why mom would have to run with child. I mean, it's mind blowing to me, and we're seeing it so much. But clearly we've tied this very much together. We've tied it statistically. We've shown the child trafficking industry. It is so evil. It's just so evil. And it's very sophisticated. It's evil and sophisticated. And to see that John Walsh was building an island in Florida when this all took place, and you went missing and no one saw anything, and a security guard ushered you guys out because there was a fight. And then the next thing we know, they're trying to claim that nobody was there to speak. Nobody saw you. Nobody saw anything. Come on. I mean, the story doesn't fit. The story doesn't fit. I do believe that we have blown the lid off of this in multiple ways. And, you know, I really don't even know what else to say. I think that you'd have to be completely foolish to believe that to not believe that this is actually happening in this country. You don't want to know. I think that there's just something within you that you don't want to know that things are this
Well,
scary.
immediately after I escaped from Otis Tool, I ended up going into a foster home. So in Washington State, clear across the country.
Yeah. I remember you saying that. I remember you saying that in the interview. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So like, think about that. Why would Reve even know about the person that adopted you? Why would she even know that? And you're over in Washington, state of Washington. People are asking how they can help you, Adam. She said, as a mother, my heart breaks with what you've been through.
On my birthday, I got a Teddy Ruxpin bear, and that was the official Adam Walsh bear. Yeah.
I think we're having.
Isn't that funny? Adam Walsh bear is Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh, really?
And I got that from my. I got that from my birthday.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh, we'll have to look that up, guys. You can Google that. I didn't know that. That's interesting. I did not know that. People are asking what they could do for you. Is there anything that people can do for you? That you would
tell my dad I'm still alive.
Spread the spread the word. Spread the word.
Make them listen.
Yeah. Jody's asking, how did foster care treat you, Adam?
Like any other kid, I guess. It was on a farm, so, and they treated me pretty well. I mean, until I got adopted, which was a scene. I made a scene during that because I didn't want to be taken away again because that was traumatizing for me.
Yeah.
And when I got adopted out, there was a new house. I don't know how long they lived there before, but it didn't seem that long. They did family portrait pictures, and I was adopted with another kid, who I believe was abducted as well, because he said he told me back then these are to cover up why they took us. That's what he said. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you took family portraits as if you've always been there.
Right.
But you were adopted to them.
Right.
What about the people on the farm? Were you telling them you were Adam Walsh, or what were you doing with the original foster?
No, I kept to myself. I was really quiet as a child. I didn't really had the courage to talk to anyone because I was too afraid a lot when I was younger.
It's a very terrible thing to happen. We see a lot of gaslit children in the family court arena. You know, we see a lot of abused children that keep their mouth shut, or they'll tell about abuse and then no one will help them, so they just won't talk about it anymore, or they'll retract what they've said.
That's what happened to me, pretty much.
Yeah. So your parents, even your mother, had even seen you after the so-called abduction and just walked away. I wonder if somebody wanted her to see you, or she just had to take another look.
She had to take another look, I think.
My theory, here's my theory. With the satanic ritual abuse, they take the head off. That's what they do. That's the trophy. I don't believe John Walsh is as evil as we know what he has done and what he's done to Megan and the children, and also leaving the baby in foster care instead of with the family. That says a lot right there, because he's not protecting children in any way, shape, or form. He knows how bad foster care is. But I think he didn't have the heart to have you killed, so he had you sent out. That's my theory behind it.
Yeah.
I think there's something in him that couldn't go that far. Okay, he could go far enough, but he couldn't go that far because all of Hollywood have to sacrifice one. Usually it's the firstborn. Okay, so you are the firstborn, and they're all tied together, these people. So, any questions that anybody wants to ask? Anyone have some questions? I see them popping up. I'll contact narcissist. She said it's not popping up for some reason, but this woman. Yeah, I'll contact narcissist controller Walsh too. Oh, so gladly. I don't know why it's not popping on my screen, but this has been pretty amazing. Again, guys, we had the DNA of Adam Walsh. I never have this problem, which thankfully we got a lot on the screen. The only other time I had this weird stuff was the last time I interviewed him over a year ago. It's terrible sound, but I really encourage you guys. Question mark on Punished for Protecting News. You can go to the news channel.
Looks like he's in charge of the show now. She'll be back in a second. So they want this video down. They just knocked me out. But this is the percentile. I mean, I got kicked out. They want this video down. It wasn't letting me put stuff up. Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
But anyway, that just shows the compatibility. It shows 50% of the parents and then 100% Adam. Yeah, Adam was the host for a minute there. He can handle it.
Yeah.
So, well, Adam, is there anything else you want to tell people? I mean, this to me is a very amazing thing that has just occurred that we were able to get.
I just want to be pushed forward, not look too much in the past. But I met Megan. I'm glad I got to see her when I went down there. Went down to Florida and went and saw her. I went to court there for her behalf to support her, and it's terrible what they're doing. So I wish they could just knock it off once they see me or something, and maybe fix the family issues. But I'm not really there for that. But if I could, I would.
Yeah, it is. It's very sad. It's amazing. I mean, I was kind of an 80s kid.
There
so
she is. This is her, guys.
And, I look at all, and I don't know how much you know this because you were much younger, but not much younger, but somewhat younger. But I see all the stars today, who's dead now, who, just who we watched as kids, which programs we watched, and how they were like more wholesome, and they're involved in, just all this crazy stuff. And they're not who we looked up to when we were younger. It's all coming out now. They're older now, but they don't look it. And the pedophilia and all this evil and the child trafficking industry. And, it's like to watch these people like on TV or whatever, movies, and to see what we used to think was innocent and now is just so evil. And as they keep getting exposed more and more and more, we're seeing all of this. It's all coming out in the light finally. And some people thought that this stuff was crazy to hear this, but that's because they want to live under a rock. They don't want to hear the truth. But I mean, here it is. I mean, like I said, the DNA matched, everything matched. And it was very hard to get this. And it was very hard to bring this forward. It was very hard to do this. It took a long time because of who your dad is and because of the years of this the decades old evil. All you have to do is type in the White House website and you will find John.
While you're in here, Punished to Protect, do you want to come up here and explain this? Because a lot of people still do not understand this DNA. If you don't want to explain it now, that's fine. But to a lot of us, it's confusing. If you want to make another video on it and share it, I'll be happy to reshare it on here, or we can get together and do a live stream. But I'm going to go back to this and finish playing this for people.
John Walsh there. He's infiltrated into everything. Okay. So, you know, there's recently a little girl who was just found safely. You know, her mom has been put in jail for quote unquote abducting her. It's insane. It's just insane. And I'm like, what are you guys rejoicing about? Where is this good? Where is this good? Like, we have to change this garbage that's happening. We have to change it. And this is how we expose it. And thank God for social media. Yeah. Okay. But the story never fit. The story of the 1981 abduction of Adam Walsh, the pieces never fit together. They fit together now. They did not fit together then. So this is amazing. Thank you for all you do, Francesca and Adam. I will do everything in my power to get the truth out. Thank you so much, We the People.
That's our friend, We the People.
That's exactly right.
She's a good girl.
We the People. So, Adam, what else would you like to say? Talk about? It's pretty. It's got to be pretty amazing for you.
Yeah.
I'm definitely being played with, by the way, because we can't change our lettering. We can't change our photos quick enough. They're definitely messing with us. And I got messed with this badly the last time you were on. I get messed with certain topics, and this is one. We're off the air.
Hope not. I remember that day vividly.
So remember.
So
now, Megan Walsh also had a DNA. Just remember that for those of you that are watching. So that test was already. What'd you say?
Yeah,
the first
Megan
one they
already had the test, but she didn't do.
You guys went for DNAs.
We did DNA, but we didn't do the test like you did.
We're having a delay. We're having a delay. Can you? Would you talk about the DNA you had with Megan?
Yeah. We did a straight DNA. We didn't do the DNA test like we did here, which we should have. Yeah. But they intentionally lost the first one, and then they claimed the second one didn't match. But see, the good news is that DNA was in the pool. That DNA was in the pool. So we did your DNA, and we did
it, honey.
Came together. So that's about all I can tell the audience. I'm trying to do this in a way where, you know, we had to do this in a certain way in order to get it going. We would have never been able to get this information out. Adam, what do you think your dad will do next? Anything?
Probably won't call me like he will. I did try to call him on the phone once. I spoke to him on the phone once. He'll probably deny it. I don't know. Knowing him, he'll probably try to deny it so nothing in the past comes up. I'm sure, trying to cover his own butt.
Yeah. Did you watch the Adam story, by the way? Did you watch that?
Yeah,
movie?
I've
that was
seen
like 45 minutes long.
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
What did you think of it? What did you think of it? Like, did you feel like anything was on with it as far as where you're concerned?
Some of it was accurate, but the rest of it wasn't. So it was only one-sided. And video clippings of me jumping in the back of the car and stuff that they recovered.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Susan. I'm not even paying any attention to that, as you notice, because, you know, obviously there's people that are trolls.
Yeah.
I dealt with trolls. I was like, boom, 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 dealing with trolls a couple of years ago. I completely trolls are under my shoe. I don't even waste my time. I mean, it's like as obvious as the day is long.
I
You don't even need a DNA.
We don't
for
have
this.
time for
That's how
trolls.
obvious it is. So
I hear a wolf.
that was my dog. She barked. She goes, I don't like trolls either. So, well, I thank the audience for watching. I hope you enjoyed this today. I know this has been a great, a great day to be able to bring this to the attention of the world. Share this, like it, share it as much as possible. It is important, obviously censorship is real. So let's get this out even further. Spread it with your friends list and so on and so forth. Get the story out. And, like I said, we had the blood, we had the DNA done. And this is what we've come up with. Not just that, but it was also the facial, what do you call it? The facial, I don't know what they call, like superimposing the mom's face, the nose, the eyes, the mouth, the eyebrows, the fact that her date of birth is nowhere to be found, the fact that Megan Walsh had a DNA as well. So it was in the pool, remember, of the DNA when we had Adam's DNA done. The fact that they proved him to be a male and not a female, even though people were saying he was a female. And the father's face as well. The memories, and then all the things that you talk about, Adam, all the things that you talk about, your own specific memories. Every time I've ever talked to you, it's always consistent over all this period of time. I try to stay in touch with you, talk to you weekly sometimes. It's always consistent, but yet the story of Adam Walsh has never been, it's always had a lot of holes and questions and just nonsense. The fact that the child trafficking industry is what it is, the whole thing. So to me, it's like, that's how you get to the bottom of stuff. Okay. That's how you have to be a thinker. And we have to understand also the corruption that's involved in the satanic, ritualistic child trafficking industry. The way it is, like I said, it's not just evil, it's evil and it's sophisticated. So that's why it's been able to operate for decades through the family court, through child predator services, through law enforcement, through politicians, through all these people, that are involved in this, to the point where they claim they lost the DNA. That tells you something. Everybody knows they did not lose the DNA. They know they didn't lose the DNA. We're not foolish, but so people will say, they lost the DNA, let it go, or it's not legitimate, or what have you. It's pretty obvious. So be a good thinker. I know that I go by my gut all the time. I go by discernment, and it's never failed me. I deal with countless victims all over the country. We're in and out of these fake courts all the time. And you can ask any of my clients, if I have an opinion about something, or I have a direction to go in, listen to it, because God knows the answers to things before we do. And when I go in a certain direction that may not seem the right way to go, it always turns out to be the right way to go. Reve, loving mother, she must surely be, publicly taunted Megan about having her kids and blamed Megan for not having them, knowing she and John were holding them completely from her. So, and it is, Francesca, your gut doesn't lie. And I knew this about you, Adam. And so did your sister. Your sister believed that you were Adam Walsh. She met you in person. I mean, she met you in person. So, and here we are. That to the point that she went and got a DNA with you. I mean, your father and mother should have ran and done that. They're hiding a lot. It makes zero sense.
It's simply that they won't.
Mm-hmm.
That Megan doesn't call them up, say, "Hey, I'm alive. You need to do a DNA test." And if they were truly loving parents and really wish that I was alive, wouldn't they do that? I mean, if I was missing a child who claimed they're dead and then found out they maybe could be alive,
Mm-hmm.
I'd have my DNA tested with the child.
100%. In a heartbeat.
100% in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. You wouldn't think twice. You wouldn't think twice unless you had something to hide. So, well, thank you, everybody. And thanks for watching. And thank you for being here, Adam. I'm calling you Adam by your biological name.
Yeah, that's fine.
Biological. And I know that you want to just live your life as who you are and be authentic to yourself. And I think that extremely important. So I'm very happy, that you came on today. And I'm very thankful, that we were able to do this. I'm very thankful. I'm actually, there's going to be more. There are other matches that we have not revealed on here for multiple reasons that are also attached to the Walsh family, that I didn't want to bring out here for the sake of legal reasons. So there's that as well. I just want to let you guys know that there's that aspect as well. So that's pretty much it. And I just thank you guys for being here. And thank you for watching, and have a really good evening. And thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
I didn't mean to stop her credits. Hold on. I need to stop playing. She had credits running, but I didn't mean to stop that. Okay, anyway, that was the show. I replayed it from her live, and I'm going to put the link to her channel and everything in there. And she explained the way they did the DNA. And it took them a year to do it that way. Yeah, I had thought John would never get a DA because proof was stored. Yeah, of course not. Yeah, I mean, because even if he doesn't think this is his child, he knows that if he gets it, and if it is, but I think it would make his story better if this really was his kid. It would have a happy ending instead of an ending of death. You know what I'm saying? It could be a family reunited if that's true. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me, and I will leave the links to her channel. Make sure you check her out. She's a wonderful advocate, and me and a surprise activist are going to do a show with her because we're going to try to merge these two worlds, because the family court and all this stuff is all connected. And if you don't see it, trust me, I see it, because I'm stuck in the two worlds. When I'm on Twitter, I'm doing CPS stuff. When I'm here, I'm doing the police stuff, and then I try to mix it together. But yeah, and he just become the leader of John Walsh, just become a head of Arizona, which we know is a fucked up state anyway. But anyway, I love you guys, and please don't ever break up her material. She likes it played completely full. I have permission to play this, and I understand why. Because when you break stuff up, you lose a lot of the context. And when we're talking about such serious subjects, we do not want to lose the context. Okay, my name's American Amy. Make sure you check out Punished No More, Free to Protect. I will leave her link. And thank you guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.